You know how they say there's a book in everyone? What if there was a business in everyone? Even you. If you catch yourself wondering, could I sell this? Or you've dreamt about quitting your day job and doing your own thing, you're in the right place. You're listening to You Could Start a Business Doing That, the podcast for people who want to be their own boss, live a rich life, and set themselves free. With lifestyle entrepreneur Jody Nevid.
Hello and welcome to Season 1, Episode 1 of You Could Start a Business Doing That. My name's Jody. I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur and I am going to be your host and your coach as I take you on an epic journey to meet some incredible business owners who have turned what they love to do into a living. In our first season, we're going to be looking at getting started in business, and that's the theme for this season. And in our very first episode, you've got just me, and we're going to be talking about your very first steps in launching a business. So I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur and I'm also a business coach, and I specialize in helping women build coaching and consulting businesses where they can make 6 figures a year, where they can work part-time, and where they can essentially turn their existing skills, knowledge, and experience into a lifestyle business that sets them free. I'm really excited to be able to introduce you along the way to a bunch of my clients that you'll be able to learn from, as well as some other local, national, and even international entrepreneurs who will all bring you some amazing ideas and inspiration about how you can build the business of your dreams. But let's get started with where this all stemmed from. So I'm actually really lucky to have grown up with the conditioning of entrepreneurs. And I didn't realize until I was in my mid-30s when, for the first time in my life, I became an employee because I'd worked for myself most of my life, that the conditioning that I had as a young child was very unusual. You see, my mum and dad were only 18 and 19 when they had me, and my nana and papa were 40 and 42 when I became part of their life, and they became grandparents. Papa was a lifestyle entrepreneur, and when he was a young man, probably about 18 or 19, he got his hands on a copy of the book Think and Grow Rich. And he said to Nana, Shirl, by hook or by crook, by the time we are 40, we will be financially free. And sure enough, a couple of years later, I came along and absolutely they were financially free. So as a young girl, my papa conditioned me with beliefs and stories, or even just values like don't go to school and work really hard to get a job working for someone else. Find out what you love to do and go and do that. Learn how to make money work for you so that you don't have to spend your whole life working for it. And one of the most beautiful things that Papa always used to say to me is, oh, Jody, you could start a business doing that. So, Papa, this podcast is an ode to you and the conditioning that you gave me. And that's the reason why I've decided to call it You Could Start a Business Doing That. Imagine this, a young girl who goes to visit her grandparents and she gets out the blender with her nana and they make a big milkshake for Papa. And as he drinks it back, he says, oh, I tell you what, that's the best milkshake I've ever had. You could start a business selling these. And then comes Papa's birthday. I spend hours making him a beautiful card in my bedroom. I give it to him and he says, oh, I tell you what, this is the most beautiful birthday card I've ever had. You could start a business selling these. And the funny thing is, as I grew up, this became part of just everyday life. Whatever we did, Papa would always say, you could start a business doing that. And so, of course, when all my friends were off educating themselves and getting their first jobs, I was off studying what I loved, which was visual arts, and thinking about how I could start a business doing that. My very first business was based around pottery. I'm a pottery artist by trade, and I made drums and percussion instruments. And I traveled all over Australia and even internationally selling them at markets and festivals and things like that. Then I landed in the corporate world and I did a 7-year stint as a leadership coach. And that's a whole nother story about how I got there. But basically, what I decided was working for someone else was never really for me. And in 2014, I quit the corporate world again And I launched a business with my friend Amy, and we called it the Seven Effect. And my mission then was to build a business where I could make six figures a year, because I loved the six-figure salary of the corporate world, where I could work only 3 days a week, where I could take all of the school holidays off, because I'm telling you, as a single mom, working school holidays was a pain in the ass, and where I could travel overseas every single year. And so essentially, that is the business I built. So the Seven Effect is a coaching and education and events based business where we specialize in helping women and even the occasional man build a business just like that. And so in this episode, I wanted to really leave you with some questions or take you through some questions that I ask my clients when I'm working with them to crunch their numbers and build a successful business. Because in fact, that is the very first thing you need to do. I can't tell you how many clients I've coached for the very first time who have come to me wanting to start a business, but they've never asked themselves the critical questions around how much they want to work, how much they want to earn, how often they want to be working, and what are their other lifestyle goals. So I thought today we could jump into some of that and also talk about the three big mistakes that startup business owners make, particularly startup coaches and consultants, and what you can do to avoid it. So first, let's jump into the coach's calculator, shall we? We're just going to bring this up on screen. If you are listening to this and you don't have a screen in front of you, by the way, we have this on our YouTube channel as well, where you can watch the full episode and see the screen. But if you're just listening to the audio, I just wanted to let you know that the tool I'm about to talk you through is called the Coach's Calculator, and you can get it for free at thecoachescalculator.com. So you can jump on there. It's a calculator. You can download it for free. But I want to take you through the questions that are really critical to ask yourself. So first off, when you are starting out building your business, you want to identify what is your goal income. So for me, my goal income was 100K a year. I was earning about 130K a year in the corporate world. And I thought, you know what? If I can go down to 3 days a week, I'd be really happy with just 100K a year. So let's say, for the sake of playing around, we'll do 150K. Because a lot of my clients come to me and say, you know what, I'm on 150K. I want to replace my 150K salary. Some clients come to me and say, you know what, I'd be happy with just 50K a year. There's no right or wrong number. You're the boss of you. You get to choose your number. So the first question is, how much do you want to be earning? Second question is, how many days a week would you like to be working? So for me, the sweet spot is 3. We do a Tuesday to Thursday work week at the Seven Effect. And what I've come to discover is that seems the sweet spot for a lot of people. So most of our clients aspire for a 3-day work week as well. But you don't have to do that. Some people say, I love working. I want to work 5 days a week. Other people say, I want to work 1 day a week. Totally your call. The next question the calculator asks is, how many months of the year do you want to be working? Now, originally, I wanted to have all of December and January off. So I plugged in 10 months of the year. But now I like to take all of the school holidays off, and that leaves me about 8 months of the year to be working. So I'd put in 8 there. The calculator then tells you these are how many working days you have. So based on 150K a year, 3 days a week, 8 months of the year, that means for 96 days of the 365, that's how many days I'd be working. Now we get into the magic. The next question is, how many hours are in your ideal day? So I like starting at 10 and finishing at about 5 or 5:30. So 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say it's a 6-hour day. I have a nice break for a lunch in the middle of the day. So if 150K was my goal income, the calculator tells me that my hourly rate should never dip lower than $260. And what I love about this calculator is one of the first stumbling blocks for startup coaches and consultants is, what should I charge? How much should I set my prices at? The calculator does the work for you. Now, here's the thing. Even though we've pulled out an hourly rate, I want to give you a hot tip. Never charge by the hour. What we want to do instead is build value-based programs. And I'll talk to you a little bit about how to do that in just a moment. But the other great thing that the calculator does is it tells you what your daily income should be. So let's say you got a call from a prospective client and they said, "Hey, I've heard about the amazing work you do. We want to book you to come and do a whole day, 1 day workshop for our organization." The calculator will tell you what your day rate should be. The calculator also gives you an estimate of what you need to be pulling in each week and each month to be able to hit your targets. So it's a fantastic tool. And step number one, I would say for you in getting started in business is absolutely crunch your numbers. There are 3 sections to the calculator, and the third part of the puzzle is where I just show you what I call the 7 value generators. A lot of the time when people start a business, they think, particularly women are terrible at this. They go into business and they think, "Oh, okay, I'll make a program and I'll charge only $97 because I'm just getting started, or $197. I don't know what it is with all the sevens on the end." And so they launch into business thinking they'll charge $150 an hour or $197 for their online program, and they really struggle to make money. Because when they come to me and we plug in those numbers into the calculator, we realize, you know what? They need hundreds of clients to reach 6 figures. So, what I always suggest is build one high value program and launch to the market with that instead. So, the 7 value generators really are just 7 different examples of high value programs, and you only need to do one. And we teach our clients how to do all of them, but we always say don't do all of them, work out which one's right for you. So, the first one is private coaching packages. And you'll see here on the screen, I've got the rates column, and I've talked about in the volume how many clients you would need, how often to hit 6 figures. So, any one of these can take you to 6 figures working part time. Private coaching, 3-month package. On average, you could charge around $3,000 for that package. If you get just 9 clients 4 times a year, so each quarter, 9 clients a quarter, boom, that's $108,000. 1 day workshops, 3,500 for the day. Just do 3 of those 10 months of the year, and boom, you've got a 6-figure business straight away. Group programs, let's say you want to take 20 people on a journey together. Run it twice a year, charge $3,000 per person, and all of a sudden, you've got a 120K business. So what I love about the calculator is it really invites you to crunch your numbers before you go to market with a high value program that you know can get you to your goal income. Other ones that you might do is a mastermind program. I'm a huge fan of the mastermind. $5,000 is a very affordable mastermind. You could have just 20 clients joining you each year, and there's a $100,000 business. You could run an online program. Maybe it's a $2,000, high value online program, 50 clients through that once a year, and straight away you've got a 100K business. You can also charge yourself out on a retainer base. Now, if you are a wizard at Facebook marketing, or let's say you're fantastic at managing people's social media and helping them get organic or paid traffic to their business, or maybe you're just a really awesome HR consultant or a marketing expert or any kind of specialist, what you can do is build a retainer-based package where your clients pay you a monthly retainer, let's say $3,000 a month, for you to add massive value to their business, get just 4 clients on a monthly retainer of $3K, all of a sudden you're making $144,000 a year. And finally, you could go into a partnership type agreement and you could charge $5,000 a month, get 3 clients. We did this when we first launched, paying you over 10 months of the year because maybe December and January don't work. For a lot of organizations, they don't. And there you have $150,000. Partnerships are fantastic if you are a high value coach, a leadership expert, a counselor, a consultant, a mediator, anywhere where you could actually become like a coach in residence to that organization. So I wanted to talk you through that. You'll see if you are watching the video, the third page of the coach's calculator gives you a blank canvas and you can plug in your numbers there And let's say you have an idea to do an online program. And let's say you were going crazy and going, oh, yeah, I want to charge $97 because I'm just getting started. I'm going to try and get 20 clients into it. The horrible thing is you realize, wow, that only brings me $1,940. And in fact, what I love about the calculator is I can keep plugging up my numbers and go, wow, I'd need 80 clients to only make $7,700. So let's try 500 clients at $97. I'm only making 48 grand. So it's a really important tool to understand. Don't go into the market as a low value coach or consultant with a low value product, which leads me to the 3 biggest mistakes that I see people making when they're starting out. Number 1 is their pricing. So we've talked about how to resolve that problem. Crunch your numbers and build your business around prices that will get you to your goal income. Number 2 is around their program design. And I want to stress to you, if you are coaching or consulting, please don't charge by the hour because every hour of your time needs to be sold. Instead, build packages that invite clients to work with you in a value-based and results-focused way. So program design is very important. Don't build lots of cheap offers. Build one high-value program and just become famous for it. And then finally, the 3rd mistake is all around positioning. I see a lot of people positioning themselves at the bottom of the hierarchy of value, and that's being a jack of all trades. Like if you imagine there was a triangle, right at the bottom is the generalist. It's what I call the jackass. It's the jack of all trades. You don't want to do that. You want to become a specialist or a certified specialist. A specialist is niching down into one area. A certified specialist says, I've actually got certification to say that I can niche into this area or that I'm an expert in this space. What I love even more than a certified specialist, though, is an expert. Position yourself as an expert in your industry and become a master of your craft. And you know what the beautiful thing about expertise is? You don't need certifications to be an expert. You just need to demonstrate results. So in summary, I'm really excited to have brought you the very first episode of You Could Start a Business Doing That. And what I want you to take away from this episode is you could start a business doing whatever it is that you love. Remember, crunch your numbers first and download a copy of the Coach's Calculator. Just go to thecoachescalculator.com and you can grab it for free. Avoid the 3 biggest mistakes that startup coaches make. Get your pricing right. Don't go into the market with numbers that will never get you to your goal income. Make sure that you design your program to be high value and you only need one. And finally, position yourself as an expert and do the work to master your craft. Don't play around with the generalist, jackass, jack of all trades space. You don't want to be there. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you'll subscribe and come on the journey with us because in our next episode, I'm actually going to bring you one of our star clients who's also now become one of my team here at The 7 Effect. She is an NLP master and brain trainer. And in episode number 2, we are going to be talking about the importance of training your brain to win in business because I have to say, it all starts with the grey matter. So I look forward to seeing you there. And for now, remember, live life by design, not by default. My name's Jody. I'll see you next time.
The number 1 reason people go into business is to break free, but instead they often burn out. That's why we created Freedom Fest, the 3-day planning retreat that gives you a 12-month planning system for life and business that will set you free. Trade meetings for moments, stress for sunsets, and long hours for Long Island iced teas. Get your tickets at freedomfest.com.au.